Greetings, nerds. I want to see if these cadmium-free paints are just as good as actual cadmium. So we have actual cadmium here. We have a different version of cadmium red light as well, which is a PO20. The first thing I noticed is that this is very orange. This is very similar to like a pyrrole orange, almost. This is definitely more orange, and that's more red. But yeah, it doesn't look like a red. It looks like an orange to me. And then this yellow kind of looks like bismuth vanadate. Let's. This is the first time I'm actually ever going to try them out. Let's check them out here. I'm going to see if they have the same properties and everything, same opacity. But first off, let's grab a brush. Good. Okay. A little bit. The opacity on both of them is fairly nice. There is definitely something in here like a diarylite or something like that because there's a green hue coming through it. Not on the camera. Whoopsies, that's the blooper I'm keeping in. But this cadmium red is definitely an orange. It's a little bit transparent as well. I actually like this as a paint because I'm always looking for more transparent oranges rather than a pyrrole orange or a pyranone orange. And that's definitely more transparent than both of them. But they list that as opaque. Bullshit. It's not that opaque. Maybe a second coat and it'll be better, but I guess we can. It's semi-opaque to me. The yellow is semi-opaque as well. Now let's try the red light from Golden here. Okay. Already that opacity is way higher. Way higher. Let's try a little bit more. Go over that. See, it still just looks like orange to me. The opacity is not really there. Let's try a heavy-bodied cadmium yellow light. A little bit. They're similar yellows, but this is a lighter. This is more chromatic. The cadmium is. And you can kind of see that in there. That's a little bit drained out. I think they might be putting a tiny bit of titanium white in there. Tiny bit. Like a very small amount. It's also a matte paint versus a glossy paint, which doesn't help either. But even as you can see, this is not entirely opaque either. It is fairly transparent. We did thin it down, but we thinned it down a little bit by accident. Let's see how they mix. Grab some of this right here. Let's test the tint strength. So we're going to grab some titanium white. cadmiums have a very, very strong tint strength, which is one reason why they're so beloved in oil painting. Grab a tiny little bit there, tiny little bit, mostly white. Okay, as you see, very strong, very, very strong. Turn off that light real quick. Turn that back on. Still looks kind of white on this camera. There we go. Most of that. Dab. A little bit more. Mixing is very close between the two. I will say that. They're different, but they're not that far off. Now let's try the white. And the tint strength is pretty good on it. For the white, cadmium free hue. That tint strength is pretty lackluster on that one. Let's try the real genuine cadmium. Oh yeah, that's night and day difference. Night and day. Look at that. Let's grab a little bit more. Let's see if that fixes it. Nope. A little bit better. There we go. That's much closer. But we had to use a ton of that cadmium free just to kind of get close. That tint strength on the cadmium free light yellow, it's terrible compared to an actual cadmium. It does not replace it at all. Its opacity is also, you can argue here or there with it. It's a little bit better. Not that much better, but a little bit better. But the tint strength is just so abysmally low compared to an actual cadmium. While with the cadmium red light, they're very similar. Yeah, that's about it. So, should you buy the cadmium free stuff from Liquitex? Cadmium red light is not bad. That is very close. I'd imagine the cadmium red is also pretty close as well. But the cadmium yellow light, it's nowhere close. It's nowhere close, honestly. Buy or something.